Everyone, welcome to another episode of High Energy Girl. And today's awesome guest is Dr. Yug Varma, who is the co-founder and CEO of Phyla, which is the world's most advanced probiotic acne system. So we talk all about the root cause of acne. We talk about the importance of the microbiome, not in your gut, but on your skin. And how his amazing product actually attacks the one single root cause of acne. This can go for young people, older people, and everyone in between. So let's go and say hello to Yug. Hey everyone, welcome to High Energy Girl, a podcast helping women to age stronger because it is never too late to get fit, be strong, and feel sexy. I'm your host, Tracy Gluhide, health coach and personal trainer and founder of highenergygirl.com. Each week, we will either have a guest interview, which will provide you encouragement or an actionable tip to help you age stronger, or I will do a solo episode. Please also join our awesome Facebook group called High Energy Girls, and I'm looking forward to see you on the inside of that group and hope you enjoy today's show. Guess what, everyone? My book is out. It is a revised and updated edition of a book I wrote 5 years ago called No Frickin' Way, 21 Days to Ditch the Diet and Lose Weight the Keto Way by Loving Yourself to Health. When I first wrote the original book, I was not a believer in the low carb movement, but after all the years of research I've done, I am sold out for life. In this book, you will learn about all the lies you have been fed, how to engage in loving self-care, how to eat nourishing foods that provide massive energy, why the ketogenic diet is not a fad, how to heal your body through fasting, why you should move your body to get stronger, and how to create an empowering mindset. Start reading now and finally achieve the high energy and positive body image you deserve. Check it out on Kindle, on Amazon. And if you like it, please leave us a review because this will help more people find it. I really want to inspire people to not deprive themselves, but to nourish themselves with loving self-care and amazingly healthy food so that they can age stronger. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed writing it. Hey, Yug, thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Hey, Tracy, thanks for having me.
So for the listeners that don't know you yet, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So I'm Yug. I'm the founder and CEO of Phyla. And Phyla is a microbiome company, initially focused on acne, but, we want to make a completely new approach to chronic bacterial diseases. My background is I'm a scientist. I got a PhD from Johns Hopkins, and then I did my postdoc at UCSF before starting the company. And I've been studying the microbiome for about 12 years now. So the microbiome is this, community of bacteria and viruses and fungi living in our body. And it's only recently that we've turned to studying them, but in a very short time, we've come to appreciate how incredible they are and what an incredibly important role they play in our health, right? And so a lot of insight has stemmed out from this. A lot of applications have stemmed out from this research. And fundamentally, we want to make things like benzoyl peroxide that are incredibly harsh chemicals that are used for acne treatment obsolete. We're doing this with a technology that allows us to kill only the bad bacteria without hurting any of the good bacteria on our body. And this very precise, very elegant approach gets to the root cause of your acne and cures it without hurting any of the bad bacteria, the good bacteria, any of the skin cells that you have, causing fine lines, wrinkles, premature aging, and ultimately bringing acne treatment into the 21st century, because there hasn't been a novel sort of advance in acne treatment for 40 years.
Okay, so let's break that down a little. So first I heard you say a correlation between acne and bacteria. Mm-hmm. So, or bacterial infection. What is the root cause of acne?
So acne obviously is a complex disease. We all know this. We all know it's affected by a number of factors like diet, stress, hormones, genetics. But these are all secondary factors. And the primary cause of acne is the overgrowth of this one bacterium called C. acnes or Cutibacterium acnes. Now, let's start from the beginning. We know that, 8-year-olds don't get acne. And the question is why? The very simple answer is that their skin has not yet been colonized significantly by C. acnes. This only happens at puberty when, because of our hormonal changes, our skin pores deepen, the sebaceous glands, which are these oil glands in our body, activate on our face. And as a result, we're pumping out oil on their face. And this is the perfect food for C. acnes, which then colonizes at puberty. And guess what? That's when we start getting acne. So it's this new entrant on your skin. Your skin's not used to seeing it, and it starts seeing this bacteria in very large quantities. And so it starts throwing up inflammation to combat that. And that is exactly what pimples and zits are. So how do all of these other factors, right? Diet, stress, etc., affect acne through the overgrowth of C. acnes? The answer is basically, let's say we have trigger foods, right? For me, it may be chocolate. For you, it may be spicy food, whatever. When you eat a trigger food, your body changes the amount or quality of sebum that you produce. And the bacteria sees that as food, overgrows, and causes acne. So for some people, it's significant because their reaction to their trigger food is quite, severe. For other people, food is really not a factor. And that's how kind of it factors in. Similar thing with stress. You have, stress, you sweat a lot, you produce more oil, more bacteria, more inflammation. And hormones, you have a hormonal cycle. It affects how much sebum you produce, and the bacteria feed off of that. And so understanding that the oil is not the problem, the oil actually has a protective function on the skin, and that the root cause is the overgrowth of this one bacteria. The question then is, how do we best treat this? Do we want to drop a bomb on it like benzoyl peroxide or antibiotics that kill everything, good and bad? Or do we want to just take out the bad bacteria causing the problem?
So my nephew had acne growing up, and I remember he took some really harmful drug where they had to check his blood every month or something.
Yeah, you're probably referring to Accutane.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Accutane is an incredibly strong class of drug. It's called a retinoid. And they're quite dangerous, right? In the sense that it has it can cause birth defects. So women on it have to be on birth control. For everyone, men and women, you have to have blood work done because it can crash your liver. And I think it's a perfect sort of symbol of how serious acne is as a problem. It's not cosmetic. It's not just skin deep, because it affects us from the outside in. It affects our sense of who we are, how we interact with people, how we see ourselves, ourselves in our relationships. And so I think it's a very important problem to solve.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that there's a thing about women when they are in perimenopause and menopause that they develop some sort of a hormonal acne.
Exactly. And again, because it's hormonally driven, the hormones are affecting the oils, which are in turn the food. So if you control the bacteria, it doesn't matter whether your skin is oily one day or not as oily the next. The chief cause of the inflammation is under control. And so, you can control your acne that way.
Okay. So what I also heard you say something about fine lines and wrinkles, which, appeals to me.
Yeah. When you're young, you use a lot of harsh products, whether it's benzoyl peroxide or, retinoids or antibiotics. And we feel this on our skin, right? That it's doing damage. But when we're younger, our skin is resilient. And as we get older, and especially as we're using these products every day, because you have to deal with acne on a daily basis, a little bit of damage is done to your skin layers every single day, and that accumulates, and it kind of has a knock-on effect. Now, I want to specifically focus on retinoids for a sec, because obviously, retinoids are the main drug that is used to treat acne, especially in prescription. But also retinols, right, which are often used on the face, and as a kind of a rejuvenating treatment. The problem with retinoids is that they're very drying on the skin, and that's what they do. They sort of curtail the sebaceous gland. That is a big problem because the oil produced by our skin naturally, it has an important function. It hydrates our skin, it lubricates it, it keeps it moist. And chronic dryness of the skin leads to fine lines and wrinkles and premature aging because your skin's not getting enough hydration. And so a lot of people try to supplement that with, moisturizer and stuff. But, the composition and the role that that oil that we naturally produce makes is unique and in some ways irreplaceable. So it's best to mess with that as little as possible.
Okay. So how do you approach the microbiome when it comes to like creating healthier skin? And let me just add to that is I've heard stories about when they've done microbiome tests with mice where they take a fat mouse and a thin mouse and they transfer the microbiome, and then all of a sudden the fat mouse becomes thin and the thin mouse becomes fat. Do you know about that?
Yep, absolutely. That was one of sort of the foundational studies done in microbiome research.
Okay, so talk about the microbiome and what you guys feel is important for us to know.
Yeah, so, I think we're most familiar with the microbiome as it relates to the gut. And we all, know how to take care of that by eating yogurt and sauerkraut and kimchi and fermented foods and taking the occasional probiotic supplement. Well, it turns out that you have a thriving microbiome on your skin as well. And it's very important. It's critically important for it to maintain your skin health. I see it as a rainforest, right? Just as a rainforest is incredibly diverse and is incredibly protective, you have a rainforest on your skin, a rainforest's worth of diversity. And when we have acne, it's one bacteria causing the problem, right? It's like an invasive species in a rainforest. And the solutions that we use for it, whether it's antibiotics or benzoyl peroxide or retinoids, they're all like setting fire to this rainforest to get rid of that one weed. So you're turning this rainforest into a desert. You're decimating the diversity that protects you. And you're expecting that the bad stuff won't grow back and the good stuff will. Well, unfortunately, that's not how it works out. And for most people, they see chronic acne relapses or, even in older women. We have a lot of our customers that are older women that just, find relief with Phyla when they've been searching for many, many years, sometimes decades, for a good solution. So the role that the microbiome plays has been, clarified over the last several years. And it's only pointing more and more to C. acnes overgrowth causing the problem and how do we deal with it. The solution that we present is using phages. Now, phages are our science, our technology platform. And what they are microscopic little viruses that exist in nature all around us that feed exclusively on bacteria. So they're in seawater, they're in soil, and billions of them pass through us every day. So they're all over us and all inside of us. Phages have two superpowers. First is that they're nature's best defense against bacteria. And the second is that they're incredibly specific. So if you're sort of targeting C. acnes with a phage, it won't kill any other good bacteria on your face, on your body. So there was a 2016 study looking at healthy people and people with acne and trying to figure out what's the difference between them. They looked into their microbiome. The biggest difference, the only difference that they actually found was that people with healthy skin have very high levels of phages, whereas people with acne skin have almost no phages on their skin. This means that, growing up, we all had those annoying friends who had perfect skin, never took a shower, ate what they want, and they still didn't get a pimple. Chances are that is because they are naturally carrying this phage on their skin. So it turns out the solution was in nature, in the wild all along. And what we're doing is we're democratizing this amazing organism. So maybe you have it, maybe you don't. But we're putting this in a bottle so everyone can have the benefit of this amazing organism, this amazing technology on their face.
Oh, cool. Okay. So this has to do with the skin microbiome. I forgot all about that. And one thing I've heard through the years is that we are too clean as a society. And when we are overly clean, we kill off everything. Is that true?
Yeah, that is true. And this is something that is kind of reflected in what we did a clinical trial on our technology, and some of the outcome of our clinical trials are connected to this phenomenon. So first, I'll say that that's absolutely true. There have been many studies done of very similar communities, but one of which is more rural, like, live on a farm, contact with animals and pets. And the other community is more like in a city, live in an apartment or a house or, highly built up area and neighborhood. And what are the differences between kids having allergies and asthma, et cetera, et cetera. We see that, people have more allergies now, more issues with food and things and asthma than they ever did before. Just take it up to like a school, right? The standard lunch packed for a kid in school would be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you can't do that anymore because there's at least one kid in a class that has a really severe allergy to peanuts, right? And so a lot of this can be traced to we're too clean. And at the right time in our lives, we're not exposed to dirt and microbiome diversity and, just contact with nature. The way it ties into, and may I say that this is gut microbiome diversity, but it's also skin microbiome diversity. Because so much of, if you have any problems with eczema or dermatitis or whatever, it's really your skin not being used to a variety of bacteria and things out in nature at the right time, probably when you were young. So we did a clinical trial, and one of the things we noticed was that our phages dramatically increase the microbiome diversity of people's skin. Now, why is that important? A couple of reasons. The first is that people with acne have less microbiome diversity than people with healthy skin. And so we think if we can just bump that up, we can help improve their acne. Secondly, it is known that throughout the world, whether you go to the US or Asia or Africa, Europe, wherever, acne affects us at about the same rate, 85%, almost everyone gets acne. However, there are some, pre-contact human civilizations where acne is not known to exist. So one such example is the Yanomami people in Brazil. They're, they're a remote Amazonian tribe, and they don't get acne at all. They not now, not ever. The difference between them and us is their skin microbiome diversity is off the charts. And so skin microbiome diversity is a key marker of long-term skin health, and phages are, one way that we have proven that gets you there.
Cool. So 85%?
At some point in our lives, yeah. Everyone gets acne.
Has that gone up with, I'm 57. And when I was growing up, I mean, I'm thinking about all my friends. I don't think any of my friends really had acne. So has that number gone up with the, current generations?
Maybe you were in the blessed 15%. But actually, the number hasn't gone up. What has gone up is the prevalence of acne later in life. So um, it is, acne is obviously thought of as a young person's disease.
Hmm.
But over the last few decades, we have seen the persistence of acne past puberty into adulthood more and more. And so half of women in their 20s and a third of women in their 30s now have acne. And the number is similar, but slightly lower for men. But we're seeing acne persist longer and longer in the population, and we don't know exactly why that is, but we certainly know that using harsh products um, is incredibly damaging to the skin and the skin microbiome, and it's very easy to see from there that if you continuously have acne relapses and you're trying hard, right? Like you're trying to find a solution, but if you don't use the right tool, then you will be caught in this cycle.
And it sounds like a lot of those tools do more harm than good in the long run, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So does diet, like, is there a particular diet you also recommend? I mean, besides, the phages that come with your Phyla product, is there other things that people can be doing to help themselves?
Yeah, so a lot of people ask us that, and I think it's also a common misconception. Some people say I had severe acne and I swore off dairy, and everyone should do that too because it worked for me, and look how amazing my skin is, right? Fair enough, that person clearly has their body has issues with dairy and they should avoid it. But unfortunately, because every person's skin is different, their body, reacts differently to foods, and their skin history is different, we cannot prescribe, you know, a cure-all for them in terms of diet. And because one does not exist. Um, what we can do is say the phages are good for everyone with acne because the root cause of all acne is the overgrowth of C. acnes. And the way to tackle them is with these phages, with our technology. And so as a result, as part of Phyla, what you have access to if you buy our products, you have access to an esthetician who can help you answer any questions about the product, the technology, as well as solve like sit down with you and go through your skincare regimen and help solve problems, right? And say, this is compatible, this is not compatible. We recommend you use this or not. We also have, we're also rolling out a dietitian to help people, to your point about diet, because we know that diet can be intrinsically linked to acne. And although our product itself has nothing, it's a topical, you're not going to eat it. We know that people need support around that. And we only get to clear skin in a holistic way, not just by doing a lot of one thing or a lot of another.
I'm surprised you said dietitian and holistic in the same sentence. That is not a good match. Just
Why not?
saying. Because dietitians, I have a friend, one of my best friends was trained as a registered dietitian. She got her master's, and now she has completely turned her back on in her entire education, looking at a holistic approach instead, because their biggest sponsors are companies like Coca-Cola, and they're part of the big government umbrella with all that garbage. So
I
if you want
see.
to bring in somebody, you want to find somebody who's more on the holistic nutrition side.
Mm-hmm.
And I've experienced this with my own clients who's, say they had like diabetes. The registered dietitian tells them, oh, you need to, if you eat this, you need to take this much insulin, blah, 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 blah. Well, my approach, actually, they don't need insulin anymore, and their doctors take them off of it because
Mm-hmm.
they're going down to root cause. So just saying, holistic and registered dietitian are not in the same category. So you
Right,
want to
right.
pick your path, right?
Absolutely.
It's funny because my friend that got her RD, she got her master's. I was talking to her about nutrition and things, and she was like, nope, 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 and then now all of a sudden she's seeing the light and she's like, wow, I just never realized. So you might want to look into that a little bit deeper and find what works best for you. Because most people are completely unaware of what supports and what's behind that whole RD umbrella.
Yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful.
So, hey, we can learn from each other. So basically, let's talk about your product. Like what is the deal with it? Is it like use it for a month? Is it long term? I know you have a kit and then you just have the standalone. Can you just talk a
Mhm.
little bit about those?
Absolutely. So our product lineup is very simple and it's very minimal because our technology just works. We have a cleanser, a serum, and a moisturizer in our kit, in our regimen. And our secret sauce, the phage, is in the serum. The cleanser is formulated with tea tree oil and salicylic acid, and it's meant to open up your pores, gently exfoliate your skin, and prep your skin to receive the serum. It's non-foaming, so it won't strip the oils from your face. And so obviously, if you have, heavy dirt on your skin or a lot of makeup, you want to remove that with makeup wipes or an appropriate cleanser first. So once you've used our cleanser, which is called Fresh, you go on to our serum, which is called Fortify. And that has, as I said, the live active phages ready to hit your skin and get to work. You apply it, it's a very sort of easy to apply, easy to absorb solution. And what it does is it delivers the phages right into your pore where they can start finding, targeting, and attacking the acne bacteria that are overgrowing and causing your acne. Once you've done that, we know a lot of people suffer from chronic dryness, often as a result of damage from previous use of harsh products. And so that's why we formulated the Fluff Moisturizer. It's incredibly light and fluffy, and it's very hydrating without being, overly greasy or heavy. So that's the complete regimen. It's really simple. It's very easy to incorporate that into your daily life. And that's what we're about. We're about minimalists. We don't think that you need to have, 15 things to take care of one problem. And we want Phyla to seamlessly sort of fit into your life. You'd also asked about, how long to take it. So we only sell a 60-day supply, and that's for a reason. Our clinicals showed that, the maximum number of people see the maximum benefit from trying Phyla for 60 days initially. It's also to reflect that acne is a chronic condition, right? So you're going to have acne in and out for months and years. And you need a product that you can apply on your skin without side effects, without harshness for that time. And unfortunately, there are almost no products out there on the market that are that gentle on your skin. So because our product kills the bad bacteria, balances the microbiome, and cures the disease from the root cause, we recommend that you try the product and then make it a regular part of your life because you need to keep your microbiome in balance to prevent the acne from coming back, to keep yourself on the clear skin. You've done all the hard work, right? Getting your microbiome in balance. Now you got to keep it there. And so we recommend that once your skin is, your microbiome is in balance and your skin is under control, that you continue use of it because, you're going to keep the acne bacteria off your face. You're going to keep your microbiome balanced. And that really is the only path to clear skin.
And so one of the kits will last you 2 months, essentially.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. And then what is your website again? How do they find this?
So we're at phylabiotics.com. The company is Phyla, Phyla. And we are at Phylabiotics on social, on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. You can go to our website and check out our science and clinical pages where we lay out our science, our technology, as well as the clinical trial that we did to show that this stuff really works. And then, we invite people to go through that and make the best decision for themselves and their skin.
Cool. Yeah, just somebody came to mind that I think might benefit from this. So now I just remembered. So that's exciting because they also experimented with the diet thing and got frustrated. And so I think that's really, really cool. So you guys are on social media at Phylabiotics. That's Phylabiotics, right? One word?
Correct.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I think this sounds great. I love the holistic approach to where you're actually just targeting that one bacteria instead of, doing the machine gun approach and killing all things good. My kids make fun of me because I've said that showering, I just don't worry about cleaning every part of my body. I had somebody on a long time ago. She said, we are over clean. You just need to worry about your bits and your pits and let the water do the rest. And so even with COVID, I never once used hand sanitizer, just soap and water. That's all I've ever recommended to anybody, because if it's good enough for a surgeon, it's good enough for me.
Yeah. And there's a big difference between good hygiene and, what you call over cleaning of just obsessively, I have to Purell everything and do it, 20 times a day. It's really important as we learn more about the microbiome for scientists like us to communicate that to the world, but then also for there to be forums where people can trust, right, that the information that's coming out, as well as be informed and make the best decision for themselves.
I think that people need to do that with all things and let all that noise out here get out of their head and just drop into your heart and ask your inner being what is good for you. And your answers are already there. So you just need to tune out the outside noise and just go within. So well said. Well, I'm excited. So I want to just say thank you so much for coming on the show. Yug, this was really eye-opening, something I've never heard of before. So I appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Tracy. Thanks for having this conversation.
Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this education. And for Yug's contact info, it's phylabiotics.com. For complete show notes, including all his links, please head on over to highenergygirl.com/show. Thanks for listening. Make it a great day. This podcast contains the opinion and thoughts of its host and guests. It is intended to provide helpful and informative material on the subjects covered. All statements made on the podcast have not been evaluated by the FDA and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. If the listener requires professional assistance or advice, please contact your personal medical doctor. Both host and guest specifically disclaim any responsibility for any liability, loss, or risk, personal or otherwise, which is incurred as a consequence directly or indirectly of the use and application of any of the contents of these episodes. Like I said, this is my opinion and I could be wrong.